Today, we are excited to have Henrico County Public Schools Exceptional Education Department here with us to discuss some of the updates and resources that are available for parents, student department, just through these changing times. So we have Ms. Tara Palace and Aaron Well with us here today. We'll turn it over to you all.
Hi, everyone. Like Alexis said, we're here today to provide updates and resources. I'm Tara Palace. I'm one of the Exceptional Ed coordinators.
And I am Erin Weil. I am the East Elementary Autism Coordinator.
With so many changes, it could be hard to keep up. This session will give you a breakdown of any announcements, changes, and updates to the Ex-Ed department. So where to find updates? There's two websites here that we'll go through. The first one is the Exceptional Education website for Henrico County Public Schools. So this is the website. There's a director's message. There's also a Meet Your Team. So if you click on Meet Our Team, this will be a list of all of the people that work at central office for Henrico County that you are able to contact should you have any questions that a school team can't answer or offer any assistance to. Then you go to the Family Engagement tab. And if you hover over that, these are all different kind of websites that you can click on to provide resources for you. Then the HCPS home is just the Henrico website. Then obviously we have the Henrico staff links and the resources for staff. And then on the right-hand side, there's educational links and community links that you can click on for any educational resources or any community links. The other website is the Exceptional Education Online Instructional Resources. So this was created for teachers and parents and students to be able to access that have different resources on the, so it's broken down by subject or content. And on the left is the name of the resource. In the middle is any information about it. And then the right is the link. So it starts with reading supports. Then it's broken down to math supports. Then there's an other section that includes everything in between and science and social studies. And then you have communication, electronic signature resources, scanning and PDF resources, occupational therapy resources, and then the last one is that physical therapy resources. So these are things that you can go to and check out should you want some additional resources. So the next piece we want to discuss with you is the summer experiences for exceptional education students. These are described below. They are from July 13th through August 6th. Exceptional education students are provided the options of either option one is attending ESY, which is extended school year. The IEP teams would meet to determine on if the student qualifies based off of their IEP goal data. They'll have access to disability-related services and support through virtual platforms as outlined in their educational plans. These can include teleservices for speech, OT-PT, consultation with the special education service providers, or direct instruction through virtual sessions with an exceptional education teacher. Again, the dates are July 13th through August 6th, and it's Monday through Thursday. The second option is students with a disability who do not meet criteria for ESY services will have the same level of access to learning opportunities provided for all HCPS students. And we want to note that accommodations to support students' access to the educational materials will continue to be provided. So that second option, which is Pathway 3, these are a daily schedule for online resources to support fundamental learning and enrichment for all students for the upcoming grade level over a 4-week period. So this is very similar to the Henrico EdFlix that was offered this past 13 weeks. So it's available to access anytime, and it's according to your family needs. This is recommended for and open to any students who will benefit from continued review, application, and enrichment in preparation for the upcoming school year. We do want to note that there will be a resource and a collab teacher at all levels, so elementary and secondary, for students to be able to access. It will be 5 hours per week from Monday through Thursday of virtual office hours offered to parents of students with disabilities. They can provide modeling essential skills, learning opportunities that family can reinforce at home, or any questions that you will have concerning the learning experience. We also want to note that for students that are finishing their 2019-2020 fourth quarter learning for summer, special educators will be available for students and able to apply their accommodations.
Okay, moving on into changes that have been in the IEPs. This is a cover page, and you need to pay particular attention to the various dates that are highlighted to the right. This first date we have is the date of the IEP meeting. So this is the date that you've gone in, sat down, and met with the team to discuss the proposal of the individualized educational program. The next down to is the IEP will be reviewed no later than, and in this date you'll notice is 1 day short of a year from the IEP meeting. An IEP must be met and discussed within a year of the last IEP. That does not mean that you cannot call an IEP meeting to have changes if you feel your student isn't making progress, or if it just needs to be updated information, if there's updated outside testing that needs to be added. All of that can be done through an IEP meeting, and that just requires for you to call and ask for one. Then next down, we have most recent eligibility date. That is the date that your student was found eligible for exceptional education services. That is either initial eligibility or a reevaluation. Next date is the reevaluation date. And you'll see that that is exactly 3 years from the most recent eligibility date. That is because a student must be found eligible for exceptional education services every 3 years. So they need to be retested to determine whether they still are eligible for exceptional education services. With that being said, along with those dates come your timelines. The first one is eligibility, and they must be completed every 3 years. Like I said, they have to be completed to determine whether the student continues to be eligible. Once it's initiated, the team has 65 business days to complete the testing and re-meet to discuss findings. And what's important in the sentence, 65 business days. That does not include weekends. That does not include holidays or any time that the VDOE is closed. What that does include is if the school systems are closed for snow, but the VDOE does not close, that is still considered a business day. So the VDOE has to be closed for it to not be considered a business day. Also important to note with eligibilities and reevals, when the team starts to discuss that your student needs to have an eligibility, that technically means that they have initiated eligibility, and that starts the 65-day timeline. IEPs are developed within 30 calendar days of eligibility or reevaluation. So that right there does include weekends and holidays. So it should be within 30 days from when your student was found eligible or re-eligible. Lastly, like I said before, IEPs are reviewed and developed annually, but that is the minimum. You can review them more often if needed. It's important to note that the meetings must be scheduled at a mutually agreed upon time and place. The school cannot send you the meeting date and time and say this is when you have to meet. They have to make every attempt to meet you at a time that you can come and a place that you can meet at. It's really important that a parent is part of the student's IEP team. These are the members that are required by law: a parent or guardian of the child, a regular education teacher of the child, exceptional education teacher / manager of the child, a school-based administrator, a related service provider if applicable, and related service would be speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and a child at parent or team request or at the age of 14. It's very important that number 2, regular education teacher of a child. If you have a student that does not go into the general education classroom, please remember that they are still receiving specials and resources by a general education teacher. So one of those teachers that sees the student in a different setting should be coming to the meeting. This would include your PE teacher, art, library, and so forth. So if a team member needs to be excused, it is the parent that must be asked, and the parent has to agree to the excusal. And this only applies to the general education teacher and a related service provider. And also, the parent may be excused if they are unable to attend and give permission for the team to go forth without them. But without the parent's permission, these educators cannot be excused. Due to the times that we have now, and we're not dealing with paper pencil, we have a way for parents to sign IEPs and eligibilities electronically. The first link is the video demo for logging in. You should have received an email with a sign up, so you could sign up through the system so that when an IEP or eligibility is finalized, you'll receive an email stating that the document is waiting for you. You can go in and you can either accept the document or reject the document, and you can sign, and you would sign either with your mouse or through your mouse pad. The second video shows you how to go ahead and do those digital signatures. Informed consent. The Individuals with Disability Education Act states that school district has achieved informed consent if the parent has been fully informed in their native language or other mode of communication of all information about which action for which they are giving consent. So, with this being said, this means that if you do not understand something that is in the document, or if you do not speak English and they do not bring an interpreter, or any of the above, you do not have to give consent. If you give consent without understanding, you're not giving informed consent. And please note that you can also give partial consent, which means if you agree with one section of IEP, but you don't agree with another section of IEP, you can sign for permission for just that section of the new IEP, and then the school would go off of the old IEP for the rest of the information. Okay. So post special education meeting parent input survey. So parents and guardians of students who participate in any special education process meeting should be provided the opportunity to complete the post special education meeting participant survey. This is a survey that was developed through the collaboration of the Exceptional Education Department and the Department of Family Engagement in response to input and feedback from our family stakeholders and Special Education Advisory Committee. The survey seeks to gather input regarding parents or guardians' experiences within special education meetings and to determine areas of excellence to build upon and opportunities for growth in family engagement and customer service across Henrico County Public Schools. So whether you were in a child find, eligibility, or IEP, you should have been given a strip of paper that has an address, a web address on it for you to fill out the survey. Here is the web address. So the above URL comes on a ticket that should be provided to you at the end of each meeting. The survey is accessible both by computer and smartphone. If the parent or guardian does not have access to the survey in their house, the school should be providing you with a way to do the survey within the school using HCPS computers and internet. And please note that if you have had an IEP meeting this school year and you were not given the opportunity to fill out the survey and you would like to still complete the survey, you may go to that website that was listed and you may fill it out now.
So this resource page has different resources that you as a parent can go ahead and utilize. We put the TTAC and VCU ACE early childhood special education resources along with our virtual online resources that we reviewed, along with our exceptional education website that we reviewed. We also put resources for students with autism from the VCU Autism Center. And then VCU ACE also provided a digital equity and distance learning resources. And then there is a virtual learning resources link that provides different resources for subjects. And then again, the communication PT, OT services that is linked there. So we appreciate you listening and coming to our session. And now we'll open it up to any questions.
Thank you all for hosting this session for us. If anyone has any additional questions or information, then please feel free to reach out to the Family and Educator Resource Center. You can get information online, or you can email me at ansims@henrico.k12.va.us. And also, you're more than welcome to reach out through your point of contacts with the Special Education Department and your case managers. Thank you all again.